Alright then, hello there, my name is Bodax and today I am back with another tier list video, and in this one we're gonna be ranking none other than the waifu Eydis. So as you can see, we only have 6 Eydis characters in the game as of now. So this is gonna be a shorter tier list, but we just got the new wind one and I just had to rank them. I mean, you know, the wind one is like one of the most fun units there is in the game, so I mean, why not rank all of the Eydises, because the Eydis characters actually are like pretty good, not gonna lie. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so I think we all agree that the second Dark Eydis is the sixth one. I mean, her maximum broken art is like, look at that, like that looks pretty great actually. But she's like pretty outdated. I mean, at this point I don't see many players use her. I mean, she was a very interesting unit, and I think she still is a very interesting unit, because she is, I think, the Dark Element Yuki, the very first Dark Element Yuki, and this Eydis are the only characters that can raise their own evasion. So this is like, she's like actually a very interesting unit. So she is a breaker, and her break skill is strong on single enemy and lowers magic resistance, which is pretty good, because actually the new dark characters are magic users. So I mean, she is kinda viable. I don't know, I'm not sure though. I don't think she is. And then her first assault skill is a magic attack on a single enemy, and then recollection field, which is pretty good actually. Recollection field on the dark team, I mean, she can help out the dual blade dark Kirito, so that is pretty good. But there are other characters that also can give recollection field on the dark team, so keep that in mind. And then of course she raises her own evasion by 15% for a turn. And then her second assault skill is a magic attack on all enemies and inflicts provoke. So I mean, she does have quite a bit of HP, and with an armor I think she goes up to 10k easily. She's a pretty tanky unit herself, but I myself don't like provoke. Like, I did use the Earth's Terraria Lifa for the last guild ranking event for a time, and I did not like her provoke at all. My team, while autoing, they died so, I mean, the Lifa, she died so fast. I mean, yeah, like, provoke is just not good against bosses in my opinion. Against weak enemies, provoke is fine, but no, I don't think provoke is something you wanna use as of now. And then her incarnate skill is a magic attack on all enemies, and AoE incarnate skills are weak. Like, you need to know that AoE incarnate skills are pretty weak. So she's not gonna be as strong as the other Eydis, the Breaker Eydis, which is on the 5th place in the tier list. And she actually is like still viable, of course, because she's a break yeller. Like, break yellers and charge yellers are gonna be viable for a long time. So of course this was the very first Eydis we got in the game. Her art is just amazing as well. Like, the game is just going hard with the Eydis arts, in my opinion. So of course this Eydis is a very good unit in my opinion still, because I mean, when she came out I loved this healing skill. Like, this healing skill was and still is so good. Like, it's a magic attack strong on all enemies, and it recovers HP medium of all allies. So of course it's a low, yeah, it's a weak when it's a level 2, but of course on level 100 it is a medium recovery. So and then of course she break yells, which is very good. Her assault skill and incarnate skill doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, she was like one of the first 4 stars in the game, so I mean, what do we expect? Like, yeah, her stats are very good. In my opinion, she's a very good unit still. I mean, she is on my dark team, even though the dark element is like one of my worst teams right now. She still is and is gonna stay on the dark team for a long time, in my opinion. I mean, I do think that she should have gotten a maybe recollection field for her assault skill. Like, she could give a recollection field for the dark team. So the next Eydises are like all very, very good in my opinion. Like, all of these Eydises are still viable. But I mean, the worst one out of these 4 has to be the water Eydis. Like, she was the first enhanced mode unit. Okay, so after this Eydis second dark Eydis, they went for a long time not releasing another Eydis until the summer. Like, I do think they released this Eydis in like January of last year, so she's like a year old, and they released this Eydis in summertime, I think, last year, if I had to guess. So the water Eydis is a charger with a very nice maximum broken art as well. She does lower magic resistance by 20% for a turn on her charge skill, and deals additional damage on enemies infected with physical or magic resistance debuff on her assault skill. So she's a pretty nice unit still. There are some characters on the water team that do lower physical and magic resistance, so you don't have to worry about this that much. And then of course she's in enhanced mode, so she does deal a whole lot of damage, and she does lower magic resistance by 20% on her incarnate skill too. Not as a main charger, because I do have TC and Yu-Gi-Oh, the recollection field Yu-Gi-Oh, as my main charger, so this is like a third charger kind of thing on my water team. I mean, she's still viable, but she has so much competition on the water team. Like, the water team just has every kinds of OP units for you to use, and the Eydis is like still pretty viable, but not the best charger at all, in my opinion. Like, TC and Yu-Gi-Oh both are better than her, in my opinion. So keep that in mind, but she is still a very good unit to have. And I mean, it's Eydis, like, I mean, she's a waifu, right? So the next, I mean, the top 3, this is like, or like all in the top 10 charger slash breakers in the game. So I mean, the game goes hard with the Eydises, but I do think that right now the third best Eydis has to be the fire one. Now this is a very hard thing to choose between the fire one or the light Eydis, because they are very, very similar units. I mean, I'm gonna put the rest of the Eydises in the tier list, and of course the wind one is the top one. But I'm gonna talk about the light and the fire Eydis first. So the fire Eydis is a breaker, and her breaking skill is a magic attack strong on a single enemy, and which lowers magic resistance by 20% for a turn. Now the light Eydis is a charger. And her charge skill is a slash attack strong on a single enemy, which lowers physical resistance by 20%. Very similar. Their assault skills are kind of the same. The fire Eydis' assault skill, of course, deals additional, is an attack strong on a single enemy, and deals additional damage on enemies infected with physical or magic resistance debuff. Now the light Eydis, now this is a slight edge over the fire Eydis, in my opinion. That her assault skill is the same as the fire Eydis', but she does break 25%. That 25% can actually save you. So that gives a slight edge over the Fire Eydis in my opinion. And of course, I mean the Fire Eydis easily stomps all of the Eydises by if they were ranked by art. Like, I mean, I mean, you know, god damn. So of course the Fire Eydis goes in enhanced mode, and she does give a recollection field for fire units, which is pretty good actually. She does help the Towel Alice, this Alice, that is on the banner, that was on a banner with her. So of course, with her being in enhanced mode, her incarnate skill is very strong. And it is a magic attack on a single enemy and then on all enemies, which is pretty good. And then of course it deals additional damage on enemies inflicted with physical or magic resistance debuff. Now of course you won't have trouble with reducing magic resistance or physical resistance on the fire team, because I do think, if I am right, that both Alice and the Integrity Knight Kirito, the new Integrity Knight Kirito, can do it. So if you have them, I do not think you will have trouble with this. So she is gonna be dealing that additional damage, don't you worry. So of course this Light Eydis, now she doesn't go in enhanced mode, but her incarnate skill, I do think that it is as strong as this Fire Eydis' incarnate skill. I do think they deal a similar amount on their incarnate skills. So the Light Eydis actually helps out with the recollection field too, and she can heal. Now this healing on the light team, now the only other light unit that heals I do think are the old Goddess Asuna, the breaker one, and the new Yuki, the charge healer, Halloween Yuki. So having this Eydis is actually pretty good if you don't have Yuki like me. So she's a very good healer for the light team, and of course she does provide the recollection field as well, so you can't miss with her. Now her incarnate skill is pretty much the same thing as the Fire Eydis is, but she lowers physical resistance and magic resistance by 20%. Of course, with the light team being like kind of a hybrid team, this does help out quite a lot, and of course will be very good for the future. So I do think she's a better unit. I mean, and of course this art is like one of the best arts to use like on the home screen. I do think this is a pretty nice art. Like, it's not too light that it blinds you when you open the game, but it's like perfect, you know, like, and I mean, look at this, how cool is that? So yeah, and of course the best is the wind one, easily. I mean, the website didn't have her info yet, but I can use the official website for it. So I mean, this Eydis just amazed me how good she is. Like 400k incarnate skills. I mean, you get that 400k very easily. And by the way, these other Eydises, I do think I mean, you see them at like 120, 150k, or maybe even more if you really focus on them. But this Eydis does like 300k easy. So I mean, she stomps the other Eydises in my opinion. Like, the amount of fun I have with this Eydis, like just her incarnate charging and her, oh my god, she's just so OP, and she destroys bosses. So she does have the super strong incarnate skill, and then of course on her breaking skill, and she is an enhanced mode, She deals additional damage on the enemies inflicted with physical or magic resistance debuff, and then she lowers physical resistance by 20% and then breaks a whole lot. And then of course her assault skill is an extra strong on single enemy, which lowers physical resistance and deals additional damage on enemies inflicted with physical or magic resistance debuff. Now that is about it that she does, and I mean, as you can see, I didn't even notice this, but almost all the Eydis lower physical or magic resistance, which is pretty interesting. I mean, it's kind of the new meta, right? Like almost all the units do this these times. So yeah, this was it for this tier list. I really do hope you enjoy it, and I'm very excited to see how the future Eydis will look like. And I mean, the game just doesn't miss with Eydis. I mean, am I right or am I right?